What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here with another mobility video in terms of improving your squat. I got a special guest today, someone that we basically have fixed her squat, so we're going to go over what happened. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Jazmine Garcia, otherwise known as Jazzy Poo with 3 O's.
Or Jazzy G Fit.
Or that was a long time ago.
Or Snazzy Jazzy.
Or Dolly Jazz 01 if you want to take it back to the
all the way back.
days.
So before you started getting coached by us, by me, your squat, your lifts, there at a certain point we managed to increase actually your squat by a whole lot, by over like 80 pounds over the course of about 8 months. You're set actually to squat 2 times body weight very soon.
Yes.
Not bad, not bad.
Right?
How much do you weigh? 85 pounds, so it's
I'm
like
at
170.
62.
62.
Cut's going strong.
Cut's going strong. Coach got you on point. So when you first met me, actually, your hips were super tight, and we managed over time to really open them. We're going to go over what essentially we did. We made a previous video when we talked about opening up the hips, proper knee tracking, just good position when it came to the squat to create a powerful position. For you, the other thing we want to talk about, however, is core bracing, right? Just when you lift, before you lift, actually, what you'll notice, and some people will comment on, is how you kind of squeeze your glutes and your quads, and to some people it looks like you're locking out like your knees or your body right before you descend. And that's because we want to start from a strong and neutral position. But let's talk about what you were doing before, how we improved that, how we opened up those hips.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to talk about, actually, bracing patterns when it comes to lifting. When it comes to the squat, the bar is always going to be on your back. And so what does the lifting? Your lower body, right? So you got your quads, you got your hamstrings, you got your glutes, maybe even some fucking calves. But the bar right here is located either high bar or low bar. But between the bar and your lower body, you got your core. And essentially, this right here is what's keeping your upper body tight and upright. If it's not, what's going to happen, you're going to collapse forward, you're going to round forward. And you'll see that a lot of times when people lift heavy weight, their body, they might be, the lower body might have the weight, they might be able to have the leg strength, but they're not able to transfer that force from their lower body into their upper bodies. It's all down to bracing patterns. And so we talk about a lot of different muscle groups. We could talk about the core, the TVA, the transverse abdominis. With Jazz, what we noticed, before she descend, you should take kind of a big breath, but a big chest breath, right? Should breathe up here, the weight would move and then should come down. But her core itself wasn't really tight. It wasn't really braced. And so bracing when it comes to the deadlift and the squat are crucial. So one of the early things that we had her do is learn proper bracing patterns. So we're going to take you guys through this right now, how to find your bracing pattern, how she actually found it. So I know for a lot of individuals out there, they might be thinking, yo man, these are all the little details. Motherfucker, these little details make the difference. If you want to be lifting strong for a long period of time, you want to be lifting healthy, you want to be lifting with safe, proper, good technique. So bracing right here, what everyone can do at home, you lie down, you put a chair, so you're roughly at 90 degrees, kind of like Jazz is right here. You'll put like a book, like my Sennheiser microphone manual. And what you want to do, instead of breathing from your chest, you want to start breathing through your stomach. So that's breathing into your diaphragm. People have said, breathing into your pelvic floor. But essentially what you want to do, you want to take a 3D breath, as I call it. And what that's going to do, it's going to help protect your core. What do you think a belt is? It increases that intra-abdominal pressure. So keep breathing. What Jazz used to do, she actually used to take a very shallow breath up here. So she would have the lower body strength, but the core wasn't strong enough. So when she was trying to lift, her back would start to collapse. She would round forward, and you see that when people get pitched forward. So this is the first thing. You just start breathing into your stomach like so. All right. The next thing that you want to do, however, after you do that, you want to learn how to brace. So you take the big belly breath. So go ahead, take a big breath, and then you want to brace. And what bracing essentially is, it's locking yourself into that position. How do we kind of like feel that or simulate that so you guys can get a hang of it? Well, doing a plank. So Jazz, flip around. Get into sein plank position, squeeze the glutes. So from here, I talked already how a plank can be really, really good. I talked about opening up the hips, her hips, what we did, but doing a plank right here, it can loosen up actually the hip flexor. It loosens up the passive structure around the spine. So squeezing the glutes, quads engaged, core right here, we're in a nice neutral position. This brace that you would feel when you're doing a plank is similar to the brace that you'd want to have when you squat. So right here, this is nice and tight, like if you were to actually poke it, like I'm poking right here, you feel fine. I feel an 8-pack there, an 8-pack of beer. So what I was going to, get the fuck back. So what we have here, squeeze your glutes. Good. So what we have here is a bracing pattern. This is the similar tension you should have on your core when you're lifting, when you're squatting. And a lot of people, they will forget this, right? They'll just kind of like pass this by like, oh, like I thought I was supposed to do it, whatever, bro. Just like lift the weight. No, we want to be intelligent about this. So good, relax. You can take a breath. Not too much, because actually we're going to switch now for her to a side plank. What's the benefit of a side plank? I already talked about a front plank, but a side plank, go ahead, go into a side plank. A side plank helps with internal hip rotation, which actually is something that you suffered from. Internal rotation was wonky. External rotation also needed some work. So we'll talk about the hip rotation in a second. In fact, we'll make maybe another video on just opening up the hips in general, like external rotation, how we really got that good pattern so the knees could track over the toes. But with this one right here, we're bracing, right? We have the internal, external obliques. And essentially what they're doing, they're helping to brace from this position right here, but this is going to help with their internal hip rotation. We're going to go over technique after this. We hold it for about 30 seconds. You got a few more seconds. Don't fuck this up. You can relax. Good, and stand up. So to go over kind of showing the squat, when you're not braced effectively, go ahead and squat down. When you go to come out of the hole, what will happen? Let your hips rise up. The back will round, the weight will shift forward. Now all the pressure's here, there's a lot of pressure on your lower back. Instead, if we stand back up, if we brace before we descend, and we're going to go over this pattern in just 1 second, so go ahead and brace, squat, remain upright, squat down and come up. Good. We maintain a more relatively upright torso angle. So the cue that we like to use right here before we descend is that when people low bar, so pretend you have a bar on your back, is what do? They jet their ass out, right? Kind of stripper style, stripper squat style. And we don't want to do that at all. Because what happens, go ahead and extend. Good, and come back up. So now don't squat, just extend out with your hips. Good, so this position right here actually, it's kind of precarious on your lower back because when you do this, really emphasize this, show the butt wink that happens with the stripper squat. It occurs very early and it's quite pronounced. Now come back up. But more to the point, when you do this, it's kind of hard to brace effectively with your core when you're tilted, when you have that anterior tilt. So go ahead, tilt. When people go low bar, especially a lot of women, what they'll do to overcompensate because they have it back there, they'll arch with their upper back and so then their ass shoots out. What we want to try and do, we want to start from a neutral position. So stick the butt out. Now what we're going to do, the cue I like to give clients is to squeeze the glutes. So go ahead and squeeze the glutes. Good. So we start from a neutral position, right? You can even squeeze the quads at the same time. So everything's nice and locked up. It's braced and then descend. So this is a more natural pattern, right? It puts less pressure on the lower back. You're able to keep that torso rigidity, aka torso virginity. When you keep that upright position, this is braced. You're able to transfer the power, hang at the bottom. You're able to transfer the power from the lower body right here, from the quads, from the glutes, into the bar, which is resting right up here through that strong core. So go ahead and stand up. A thing that you could simulate at home if you want to try and do this is we just explained kind of the breathing technique, then we explained the bracing through doing a plank. The other thing that you could try and do if it feels still a little awkward, anterior load. So what we're going to have you do is just take a light weight, something like a 30 pound, maybe 40 pounds. You're going to hold it and you're just going to do a goblet squat. By doing a goblet squat, what happens, the load at anterior load, it's easier to brace. So you get that feeling of bracing with your core. And you'll notice that she'll remain pretty damn upright. So go ahead and squat. Yeah, like look at that position. Stand back up. It's pretty damn good, okay? As someone that is soon going to squat 2 times body weight. Good, and just keep going. So basically, it's all about bracing, right? This is a bracing pattern right here. This is an anterior load. It's in front of her. Anterior loads in general are easier to get that pattern of bracing. So the 3 things I'd like to say, relax, is that if you want to squat big, you want to squat safely, you want to squat strong, you want to try and start from a strong position. A lot of times when we do the low bar squat, people stick their ass out, and so they're not braced, they're not tight, a lot of lower back tension. And in fact, before you started with us, when you used to squat, you said, I believe you complained a little bit about lower back pain.
No, for sure.
Right, and so a lot of that can be alleviated from squatting correctly, learning proper patterning. So learn how to brace, you first learn how to breathe, then you brace. You maybe want to reinforce that when it comes to doing some sort of anterior load, so a goblet squat before you lift. You practice that enough, you reinforce that new pattern, and you're going to squat a whole lot more weight.
Alright guys, that's it. That's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video.
Wait, you're not even going to shout yourself out?
Oh, shout out. Also, make sure to check out Jazzy Poo on YouTube. YouTube.com/Jazmine Garcia Fitness, or what is your Instagram handle? Jazzy Poo with 3 O's. Perfect. All right. Can't wait to see you in the next video, guys. Omar would never say that. Peace. Peace.